Hello, cookbook friends, and welcome to the Cookbook Divas podcast. I'm your host, Katie, and we'll be doing this Minisode solo today. I think it's only fair because Carrie's a vegetarian, so most of these cookbooks, understandably, are meat-oriented. So if it wasn't already clear, we are going to do barbecue and smoking cookbooks for the 4th of July and summertime today in this minisode. So I'm super excited because this is the perfect time to go out on the beach and do barbecues, go camping and do that. Having gatherings at home, it's starting to look like more and more likely we're going to be able to do that throughout the whole year. So this is really exciting. Also, 4th of July is in a couple weeks. And I know one of my favorite things is to, grill some hot dogs, go watch some fireworks, have a good time. That's the best part. So I wanted to share some cookbooks that I've found that are newer or just classics that might help you along the way throughout summertime or even just in a few weeks for 4th of July. So the first cookbook that I'm going to start with is a classic. It is Franklin Barbecue, a meat smoking manifesto. It came out April 7th, 2015. It's by Aaron Franklin and Jordan McKay. Aaron Franklin is kind of the barbecue guru. He is the barbecue guru. He is one of the biggest and most recognized names in barbecue. I'm sure a lot of you actually recognize this name. He's been in Barbecue Pitmasters, the TV show. He owns Franklin Barbecue, as you could probably tell. He's won a lot of awards for his recipes and such. And what a better person to learn barbecuing from than Aaron Franklin. Of course. I really enjoy the photos throughout this cookbook just because his setup is insane. It's so fun. He has these crazy big smokers that are featured throughout the cookbook. Plus, you get photos of himself while he's actually working and doing the barbecuing and the meat, all that fun stuff. It's a really cool cookbook. You get to get a glimpse into his life and the world of barbecue in a very personal way. So, the table of contents, we've got the beginnings, so Aaron Franklin's start of his career. We have the smoker, wood, fire and smoke, meat, the cook, serving and eating. So some of the recipes we find in here are very classic recipes. We've got the burgers, we have steaks, different cuts of meat, and we even have wood options in here, what different kinds of wood does for each smoke. So it's a very detailed cookbook that really covers the basics of barbecuing, and you're learning from the master. I can't think of any other better cookbook to find. This is just a really awesome cookbook with a lot of cool recipes and a great story too. So if you want to check that out, this is a New York Times bestseller. It's Franklin Barbecue, a meat smoking manifesto. It came out April 7th, 2015. It's by Aaron Franklin. Next, I have Smokin' in the Boys' Room, Southern Recipes from the Winningest Woman in Barbecue. It's by Melissa Cookston. I personally really love this. It has a very special place in my heart just because this woman, Melissa Cookston, is a bit of a pioneer in her field in barbecue. There's not a lot of pitmasters who are women, and she has been a champion in the pitmaster world and represents women in a wonderful way. She also shares her personal stories in these cookbooks about being a woman in the field and how, she's viewed or how she looks compared to all the other pitmasters. And we've covered this book in our roundup episode, and I've quoted some parts of a book. It's really cool, so definitely check out some of our previous podcast episodes to go find that. I love her breakdown in her cookbook, especially with sauces and spices and ingredients. She really breaks down your barbecue pantry. She provides really interesting recipes that I haven't really seen before. There is a recipe for brisket at the house with burnt ends. This looks super delightful. She breaks all of these down, like the cutting of the meat down in photos so you know exactly what you need to do, which is very helpful, especially if you've never broken down, a ham or brisket or big barbecued meats for gatherings. This is super helpful. She has a perfect smoked chicken recipe. She has Sunday potato salad, so you get to, and it looks very different than other potato salads I've seen before. The recipes are different. They're classic, but there's a bit of a twist, and it's her own, and I very much appreciate her cookbook. I think her story and her recipes are just really cool, and it's definitely worth a look through. So that's Smokin' in the Boys' Room, Southern Recipes from the Winningest Woman in Barbecue by Melissa Cookston. Next is a cookbook I think Carrie would have loved, and we've gone through this one as well in our past podcast episodes, but it is called How to Grill Vegetables, the New Bible for Barbecuing Vegetables Over Live Fire. It's by Stephen Reichland Barbecue Bible Cookbooks. It came out May 11, 2021. It's by Stephen Reichland. And I appreciate this because we don't get a lot of cookbooks, especially barbecue ones, that are all about vegetables and grilling vegetables and really showcasing vegetables rather than making them the side. Vegetables should be a bit of like the premiere, in my opinion. Some recipes you'll find in here, you've got a zucchini braciole or braciole, not sure how to say that. It's with pepperoni, provolone, and sage, and zucchini. It kind of looks like a bacon-wrapped jalapeno, but it's a whole zucchini. I'm sure this is really good. There's also a smoked beet salad with smoky raisin vinaigrette. I would have never thought to smoke beets in my entire life. We also have a volcano pineapple. This looks amazing. It's the classic grilling a pineapple on your barbecue, and then you put like an ice cream scoop on it with some extra awesome things in there. I would probably put some bourbon on there, to be perfectly honest, to make it a little extra special. There's also plum tomatoes grilled in the style of English breakfast. So there's a whole host of kinds of recipes we see breakfast, lunch, dinner. There's vegetables that are not so small plates. We've got vegetable sides. We've got vegetable small plates. We also have breads, pizza, quesadillas, chips and dips. There's a lot of very interesting chapters in this cookbook that cover a whole host of different times of day you could be grilling, where you could be grilling or smoking, and even sauces and condiments and seasonings you should use for each vegetable. It's really awesome. A lot of people are starting to transition into plant-based, so this is going to be a really helpful book for that. Even though they do use meat products on some of these recipes, it still makes the vegetable the superstar versus the meat. So that is How to Grill Vegetables, the cookbook by Stephen Reichland. Next, we have Foolproof Barbecue, 60 Simple Recipes to Make the Most of Your Barbecue. It came out May 18th, 2021. This is by Genevieve Taylor. And I like breaking barbecue down mostly because not everybody has grown up with barbecue, or their family just didn't have it, and that's just been something that it's an American thing. We love grilling meat. So it's one of those beginner cookbooks for people that have just not really grilled or really done barbecue by themselves before. So if you're on your own, you got your own house, this is a cool cookbook for that. As I'm peeking in the table of contents, it's a very easy to navigate cookbook. We've got a chicken chapter, pork, beef, even lamb, fish and seafood, vegetables, hooray! And then something sweet, so that you learn that barbecuing doesn't have to always be savory. There are definitely sweet options available to you. Some recipes that you'll find in here are a herby chicken breast with melting potatoes. This sounds very actually wintry or fall, just very heavy, but it looks great. And it would be it's nice that you can use your barbecue all year round. I'm seeing one that's like Mexican pork burger wraps with avocado and sour cream. So it covers a whole array of flavors, different places around the world, different profiles, different kinds of things. So like mussels with chorizo and garlic butter. That's really amazing. But you are going to need like a big pot to grill or use or smoke for that. So you're learning how to use different tools, different kinds of cooking. So like indirect cooking or direct cooking. You're learning how to use a little bit of everything to kind of dip your toes into the barbecue world a little bit. I like that. I think that's a really clever cookbook for beginners and for people that are experienced but maybe haven't tried smoking meat before or haven't tried indirect heat before. You kind of get to cover all the basics with this cookbook. So that's Foolproof Barbecue, 60 Simple Recipes to Make the Most of Your Barbecue by Genevieve Taylor. My next cookbook is one that I'm really excited about, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. It was pushed out quite a bit, so unfortunately you're not going to be able to get this one before July 4th, and I'm so sorry. So this is Barbecue Revolution, Innovative Barbecue Recipes from an All-Star Pitmaster. This comes out July 6th, just a couple days after 4th of July. This is by Mitch Benjamin. He has won a lot of Pitmaster barbecue competitions, and he has tried to push the boundaries of what barbecue is, trying to create brand new recipes using flavors from all around the world, but still maintaining some of those like classic flavors. So you'll see things that we all absolutely love. Like, I think most of us love macaroni and cheese. We see that in his sides. We'll see, we'll see obviously some sort of burger of some kind. He even talks about like chilies, chicken wings, which is another one. But he has like another recipe in here that's called smoked lamb chops with Asian butter sauce. We also have another thing in here that's like a Philly cheesesteak. So as you can see, classic and then not so classic. Also, he uses cuts of meat that could be common practice, but then he also has some recipes in here that kind of push our meat using boundaries a little bit. So smoked beef cheek tacos. And I'm pretty experimental, and I love experimenting with those things. And I've actually had that before, and it's super tasty. But I know a lot of other people would be like, oh goodness, why would I want to do that? But it really is delightful. And I appreciate that he's trying to get us to gently go outside of our comfort zones. It's not uncommon stuff where it's just blasted in your face. It's like, we all have had a taco, but let's try a different cut of meat. So I really appreciate that. Some of the chapters you will find in here are fundamentals of barbecue, obviously very, very important. But the cool thing in this book is he tells you in this whole chapter how to prepare certain proteins. So like sausage or chicken or brisket or pork or ribs. So all of those kind of popular meats that you'll find. He talks about how to trim and prepare them. I need that personally. He also talks about, what kind of rubs or marinades or injections you're going to need in this chapter. So the other chapters are char bar favorites. So we're going into recipes. Then he has revolutionary barbecue. So big mains, featuring all kinds of different recipes of different meat products. And I think there's probably one or two vegetable ones. There's also using up your queue. And then we also have amusements from the Mitchin. So these are like very, very sides. This is where you'll find barbecue pit beans, potato salad. He also has blueberry hand pie recipes or strawberry Pop-Tarts, which is fun. It's a cool cookbook. It's got really amazing photos. Everything looks tasty. Everything looks kind of funky. The design is just really fresh and just cool and very approachable. Very cool cookbook. Very looking forward to this. It's Barbecue Revolution, Innovative Barbecue Recipes from an All-Star Pitmaster by Mitch Benjamin. Next, this is a cookbook I've talked about so many times, but it never gets old because I love it so much and I can't wait. I've got it on hold. I'm waiting for it. It is Rodney Scott's World of Barbecue. Every Day is a Good Day, a cookbook. It came out March 16, 2021. It is by Rodney Scott. Every time I look through this cookbook, I'm always seeing the pork skin nachos, and I just can't get my eyes off of it. Nachos and pork are just two of my favorite things. It's really hard to draw me out of that. It looks so good. I love it. The recipes look very, very approachable, very easy. It's, again, I feel like it's a fresh look. You see a lot of the photos are of him or friends or people at his pit in action. There's not a lot of these beautiful standstill photos that we see a lot of the time in cookbooks. These are just, I feel like they're authentic. It's truly what you would see at a barbecue scene. It's not trying to pretty things up. It's barbecue. Like, have fun with it. You know, we eat with our hands and that's fine. Like, it's delicious and we just want to dig in. So some of the recipes, I'm trying to find if he's provided a table of contents that I can actually look at. Yes, he has. So we have from the grill, barbecue, from the stove, which is nice so that if you don't have a barbecue or if you're, you know, in the wintertime, in some places, you don't want to go outside. So maybe we can just stay at home. Or if we have a big party, we want to use as many appliances as humanly possible, right? We also have snacks, salads, and vegetables. And this is actually quite a big chapter. So I think Carrie would have enjoyed that too. We have desserts, cocktails, and at the very back, he actually includes the pantry. So I've already gone on about my loaded pork skin nachos, but we also have in our recipes, there's a lemon and herb chicken. He even includes a holiday turkey recipe, which I need. I've not made my own turkey for the holidays before. He has classic Southern recipes like fried catfish. He has pork and grits. There's also in the vegetables, salads, and snacks section, he has coleslaw. We have a marinated tomato and onion recipe. Hush puppies. Hooray! There's a lot of really cool recipes in here. So I've raved and raved and raved about this cookbook so much on multiple episodes of this podcast, and I could still do it. This is like #1 best-selling in barbecuing and grilling. It's amazing. It's still doing awesome, and it's June. I mean, that's just awesome to me. So I would check this out. If you want to get into barbecue, this probably should be #1 on your list for 4th of July. Definitely. That's Rodney Scott's World of Barbecue, Every Day is a Good Day, a cookbook by Rodney Scott. Lastly, I wanted to talk about this cookbook because we have a lot of people that are doing keto. It's more and more people are on the keto diet, and it's really hard to enjoy these gatherings. And a lot of the summertime, it is going to be a lot of barbecue. Like, let's be honest, it's easy to do barbecue. So a lot of us go to barbecue parties. So I wanted to include this if you are somebody hosting a party for keto and you want to have a more keto-friendly barbecue for yourself or your loved ones. This is going to be helpful. It is Myron Mixon Keto BBQ, Real Barbecue for a Healthy Lifestyle. It came out May 11th, 2021. He does emphasize talking about losing weight, being healthy, etc. Myron Mixon is a New York Times bestselling author, so he's very well known in the community. I like this because it gives people the opportunity to kind of adjust barbecue as they need. So, for instance, the easy thing that we can all witness is everything usually has bread. Taking that out and making it more keto-friendly. Also, sugar. That's a big one. And fruit. So, even sweeteners, which a lot of barbecue is very, very sweet. Trying to find alternatives to make it sweet that's within the keto parameters. So they suggest like monk fruit sweeteners. I like that he's given you a whole adjustments. He's also listed off the things that you can and cannot eat technically in keto, or things he likes to avoid or skip or whatnot. So, for instance, I always get hung up on nuts and seeds as far as keto goes. Everybody has different parameters, and keto always confuses me. So, there's certain meats that you'd want to skip. So, that includes like tofu or seitan or like sausages and hot dogs with filler. And I had no idea about that. There's also a whole list of fruits and vegetables you're going to want to skip. Mostly fruit, as those who are on keto would know. There's also, he's like, skip every single bean and every single grain because you're not going to need them. So he gives you a whole shopping list of things you'd want for your basic Keto BBQ shopping list. Very helpful. And that includes things like oils and cheeses and herbs and seasonings that you're going to want for a better flavored barbecue. He also talks about tracking your food, planning your meals. And also like making it affordable. So this is just very nice if you are dieting throughout the summer, if you're doing keto specifically, this is going to be a really helpful cookbook. It's been doing very, very well. It's got great recipes. That is Myron Mixon's Keto BBQ, Real Barbecue for a Healthy Lifestyle by Myron Mixon. Thank you so much for listening to this barbecue and smoking cookbook minisode. Make sure to tune in every Tuesdays and Fridays. We try to release our minisodes every Tuesday and our big cookbook roundups on Fridays. If you want to hear or see more cookbook content, check out our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest at Cookbook Divas. We also have a blog at cookbookdivas.com where we cover some more cookbooks we might have missed on this podcast or just cookbook news. There's a lot of amazing cookbooks out there and we want to cover as much as humanly possible. Thanks again for listening and we will see you soon.